towards Jangbi's base. But at the same time, Jangbi's force is kind of avoiding and circumventing Fantasy's kind of arcing off in a J shape, or I should say in an inverted J shape that's going around Fantasy. So it looks like these guys are going to arrive at each other's base at the almost the same time, and it looks like Fantasy is pushing in at the same time that Jangbi is pushing into Fantasy's base. So, but Fantasy does have the high ground. He has tanks on the high ground. So this is going to be very interesting. Arbiters on the ground and in the field with both armies for Jangbi. But those siege tanks sieging up on the hill. Great stasis on the hill for Jangbi, but at the same time he's taking significant damage at his main base and his main natural. And it looks like those forces that he's sending in up top are actually getting cleaned up relatively well by the remaining forces. Oh, a great stasis as well, but an EMP in return from Fantasy. So it looks like that Fantasy's going to lose the natural, but Jangbi has lost his natural as well. And it looks like, oh, and a nice storm, but only one. And it looks like that all the Fantasy's units remain intact. And he's going to siege right outside of Jangbi's main and cause all kinds of harm. Whereas it looks like Jangbi has been prevented from moving into Fantasy's main. And at this point, I would have to give Fantasy the advantage again. Oh, and look at this addition. Oh, God, he loses more units to mines. Just getting crushed by mines over and over and over again, even though the observers are out. And I mean, really, just so much damage. Oh, losing additional units to mines. This is really sloppy play on Jangbi's part, I have to say. And look at this. His main is just getting shelled by these siege tanks outside of his base. He's forced to try and return with his main force, which is getting whittled away. That has to run through this, literally has to run through a minefield to get back home. And they are having a tough time of it getting back. Fantasy, in the meantime, is sieging more tanks in the main. He has eliminated so many gateways. He's eliminated pylons. He has just caused all kinds of damage. And at this point, I don't even know if Jangbi has the presence on the ground to be able to deal with all the forces that Fantasy has been able to muster at this point. And more science vessels out on the field, so very hard counter those arbiters if you can get off those EMPs. It looks like now Jangbi is running off of the expansion on the top left has pretty much become his main, because at this point it looks like all of his tech is going to get destroyed over here in the bottom left. Fantasy, what are you doing? Keep pressing your advantage, man. Go ahead and clean that out. Oh, but it doesn't even matter. Look at all of that ground force that's occupying the space outside of Fantasy's main base. That is intimidating, and there is nothing on the ground that Jangbi has to even remotely deal with that. Look at that mixture of units. He's got Goliaths, he's got Vultures. He's already been showing us literally throughout this entire game just how ridiculous he can be with Vulture play. So I mean, I'm laying additional mines everywhere, and look at and they're still doing damage. Look at all those mines just going out and it's crushing units. A nice storm, but at the same time, Vultures are extremely maneuverable, not catching that many of them in that storm. And Jangbi is really reeling at this point, folks. He's trying to reestablish his position, trying to get some more macro going by throwing down those gateways. But at this point, with the Terran, I'm assuming Fantasy's probably looking to expand or already has expanded again. And he's just slowly pushing his way across the map towards that top left expansion. And if he can manage to take that top left expansion out, this game is definitely over. Nice storm, it looks like. Takes out one of those science vessels. Very nice thing to pick off at this point. As much detection as you can take away from Fantasy, the better. And it looks like Fantasy is indeed expanding at this point. And has moved in fully into this main. So he's going to take out everything. The Cybernetic Score, the Stargate, the Arbiter Tribunal, all that stuff is going to go down. Another EMP on that Arbiter, even though he does get the stasis off first. Not a particularly impressive stasis, only 2 units caught in that. So really, I have to say again that Jangbi looks like he's really on the ropes. He's reeling at this point, and Fantasy is just literally showing us some of those innovative play. You have to remember that he started off this match getting straight up just dominantly harassed. I mean, he's just zealots in his base, just pounding away at him. Reaver in his base, pounding away at him without siege mode. Fantasy really is coming from behind in a very strong way and just showing us really what makes him such a strong player. Not only the innovation in his build, but just such startlingly strong micro against an extremely good play. Look at Jangbi's face. He is seeing this. He's seeing that in the expansion going up. and he's realizing that there's little that he can do about it. Those SCVs picking off a Dragoon, just showing how baller they can be. At this point, it really looks like there's nothing that Jangbi can do. He's getting harassed everywhere. There are tanks. It feels like outside of everything that he's got. I mean, there's significant numbers of them, and they're approaching that top level expansion. He doesn't even have gas in the front end at this point. Jangbi has totally lost his game. EMP goes down on that Arbiter that's even at low health, and it not looking good. Stork looking on without too much joy or happiness. It looks like he's going to go last ditch here. Actually, really pretty decent stasis there going down, but it doesn't matter. Yeah, those elves are getting cleaned up. GG from Jangbi. Guys, we just have seen a masterful performance out of Fantasy. What a play from him. Let's get some high 10s going. Yeah, let's give him 10 for that one, because that was a serious game. What impressive play from Fantasy. This is the Fantasy that took Jadong 2-0 before eventually losing in that Star League final. This is extremely strong play, and Khan just looking defeated right now, as they should be. I mean, that's just some very incredible play. That was an excellent match. Great recommendation from Artosis. Thank you. Hopefully that you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. Excuse me. This has been Weapons Left. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. GG.